world faced an unprecedented challenge due to the deadly and highly contagious virus that brought countries across the world, regardless of their socioeconomic status, down to their knees. All but essential business remained open. Fortunately, those who could shift their operations online impressively did so in a matter of weeks, which included our schools. Children could continue their education. However, their life changed overnight. Today, we have 5 special young guests and a guest host here to share their experience on 1 year of lockdown during the current pandemic. Let's hear from them. And before we start the conversation, let me quickly introduce them to you. And when I say your name, please wave, okay? And say namaste so that you can come on the big screen. We have the youngest guest from California, Raghavir.
Namaste.
Namaste, Raghavir. He's 11 and he's in 5th grade. Next, we have Yuvani from Florida. She's 13 and she's in 7th grade.
Namaste.
Namaste. Next, we have Sahaj from Colorado. He's 12 and he's in 6th grade.
Namaste.
Namaste. And next we have Arvik from London. He's 13 and he's in 8th grade.
Namaste.
Namaste. Next, we have Rhythm. She's also from London. She's 13 and she's in 8th grade.
Namaste.
Namaste. Last but not least, we have Alina Pereira, who is also my co-host today. She's actually going to be the host. So she's 15 and she's in 9th grade. She's from North Carolina.
Namaste.
Namaste. So that was our introduction, and I'm going to have Alina start with her questions and discussions.
Okay. So our first question is, what was the one thing you liked the most about COVID lockdown? For me, I think it would be like you get time to yourself to just think, and you don't have to feel pressure from anyone else to follow their train of thought. What about the rest of you?
For me, it was probably how everything is so easily accessible and on the internet.
For me is that I got extra time, so every single day I had to take different parts out of my day to travel to school and back. So now during quarantine and lockdown, I get extra time to myself to do things that I enjoy.
For me, I think that I got to spend more time with my family, and I didn't get that much time because of school and all the clubs, and yeah.
For me, it's mostly spending time with my family and being able to give time to myself.
Well, for me, it's kind of simple, but you could wake up late and you don't have to rush to school or anything. You can take your own time with it.
That was nice. I've gotten a lot more sleep now than I ever did before.
My school actually starts earlier than it used to, by like 30 minutes. So it's just...
Very good.
I guess
yeah. I love, you guys all are very positive, and you have a positive outlook towards what has happened. For me as well, my kids also go to school, and the extra time in the morning has allowed us to bond as a family much more. We're not rushing every day. We are not, I think we have come together as a family a lot more than what we were, before pandemic.
I agree with that. You get like a lot more time just to sit down and enjoy each other's company than you would before. The next question, what did you dislike the most about COVID lockdown? You guys can go first.
So the thing I disliked the most about COVID lockdown was probably how I couldn't see any of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the friends is a given one for me because I really enjoy spending time with my friends, as I'm sure many other people are. And also I miss traveling and going on airplanes and flying to different countries because before COVID, that was a very fun experience for me. And then COVID kind of took that away since it wouldn't be safe anymore. So yeah.
What I dislike about COVID is that we couldn't see our friends during the lockdown period, and it like we couldn't really do any extracurricular activities. Like for me, I used to do soccer a lot, but like I really couldn't after the COVID started.
One thing I also disliked about COVID was that I didn't get to see my friends, and we were all like stuck in our house for a very long time, and I didn't really like that.
Yeah, I dislike not going to vacation because we usually go on vacations every year and not meeting friends at school. So
Towards the beginning, when all of this first started, nobody had ever seen anything like this before, and it was all just like we were figuring out how to live in the pandemic, so everything was a lot harsher, and there was a lot more fear. And as we sort of began to figure out how we would handle this virus, even though some people haven't been handling it as well as others, um, we sort of like we understood how exactly we could go about spending time with other people more safely. And so at the beginning, it was all very, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. That would be dangerous because we didn't understand the extent to which this virus would be affecting us. So people felt the need to stay inside and keep to themselves a lot more than they do now. And because now we know how to do it safely. And at the beginning, it was just a lot sadder for all of us staying at home alone because um, it was very extreme. And now things have changed, and we allow ourselves to spend more time with other people. And I think that's a lot better for everyone's mental health.
Very good point, Elena. I think that that's a huge, like, you said the positive was it brought us closer to the family, but then, the negative was it took us away from our friends, and social activities are a very important part of, adolescence, the age that you all are in right now. Your growth is very much, is include your friends. You learn a lot from your social interactions. So but then you figured out as time went by, there were safer way of doing it. So I would like to hear from each one of you, what did that mean? How do you guys socially interact now that you don't have as much access to your friends and social activities?
Uh, we mostly have like a bubble of like 2, 3 people that we like visit regularly. But like besides that, we don't really meet anyone else besides like those two families.
So you have created a social bubble. That's
Yeah.
bubble. Okay, that makes sense. Anyone else? What is your social life looks like now?
For
For
me,
oh,
sorry, you want to go ahead?
okay. So for my family, what happens, well, my mom's sister lives in Tampa. So every once in a while, we can drive up there and we'll just like stay with them for like a weekend. So that way we can still see other family and still stay safe.
Thank
Um,
you, Ivani. Yeah.
what me and my friends tend to do is like we'll have like Discord calls, and it's just an easy way for us to spend time together remotely. If you see too much of the same people, it just gets repetitive and you get tired of them. And I've been seeing my family my whole life. Even though I love them, it's nice to have a break sometimes.
True. It's always important to have that healthy balance. You know, we need friends for a reason, right? If family were
Mhm.
enough, we wouldn't need our friends. Very good point, Alina. Anybody else would like to add how they are coping with your social distancing?
For me, it's probably a group chat online with my friends.
Yeah, Discord calls or FaceTime calls. We would do that.
Very good. Rhythm, you want to go?
Um, I have a large group of friends, and it was really tiring to see them every single day, and I grew close to one of them, and I normally FaceTime them as much as I can. Yeah.
So it was a good break for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Opposite. Very good. And anybody else that we missed out? Anyone plays video game? Because my sons are mostly keeping in touch with their friends through video games.
Almost every day I go on a Discord call with my friends and play like different games.
Okay. And have you guys noticed that your parents are much more lenient about you guys being on screen and video games?
Not really,
No,
actually.
Yeah, no, not really.
not really. So it's
No.
the same rule that it was before pandemic for you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
Kinda.
probably the most lenient mom here then.
Don't let it go to your head.
Okay. So I was going to ask, you know, if you guys are getting a lot of screen times and, you know, more leniency as far as social activities and all that are concerned, you know, you must be then, you know, a part of you doesn't want to go back to the old life. Are you getting more used to pandemic, you know, the distancing, social distancing, and that everything that brought, that you're kind of okay with it now, or do you want to go back to your older lives?
Well, I find online school a lot easier than in-person school because it's not as much pressure, and like it's, I don't know, it's just a lot easier for me. And also if you're in person, I'm not in person, but what my school does, if you're in person, you can, if you like have a sick day or you have an appointment that day, you can stay virtual for just that day, and that provides like kids a lot more opportunity so they don't have to miss out on school if they have, if like they have a sick day. So that's easier like as of right now.
Very good point. The school has changed, right? I mean, because the format is online, a lot of things have changed. That's a very interesting point of view. Anybody else wants to add how the schooling experience has changed? Some of you probably go in person. I don't know how the setting is for you. Can you share some of your schooling experience?
I would probably want in person back because obviously it's more social and you get to meet with more people.
I would also definitely want like in person back because we get to meet more people and like it's kind of like we're not sitting in front of a screen the whole day.
To an extent, I want in person back, but like there's parts of school that I like better online and then parts that I like better in person. It's a lot easier to learn when someone's directly teaching to you, and you get that in person, but not really online. And like, but with tests and stuff, that's easier online because you don't have the pressure of, oh, they're finishing before me. Am I doing something wrong? And like, you don't feel like other people are watching you. But I know that in person would be better even with the whole test situation because you would get to see people and you would get your eyes away from a screen, which I have had so many headaches this year, more than I would have ever in person.
Very good point, Elena. You know, that brings me a memory, not memory, a niece of mine. She published an article on online schooling experience, and she was very candid about, you know, her experience of how online schooling has allowed students, to cheat because, there are no teachers around. You can have your books right there, or you can be Googling at the same time you're doing your tests. So 1 year of that freedom of being able to cross-reference, while you are doing your test probably has changed your habit a little bit, right? I think that's true with most cases, unless you're super honest, in that age, it's I think it's natural try to be a little smart, street smart. So I would like you guys to, share your experience about testing and how that has changed because of remote schooling.
Well, for us, our teachers now, like if you're online, a lot of the times they let you use your notes since it's like inevitably no way to stop it if you're online. Cause like since all of our stuff is right there, they can't like watch everyone. But for our big end of the year test, they're actually having us for one day come back to school so we can take it there because that's much of a bigger deal.
Yes, absolutely. Anybody else?
Yeah, my teachers also let us use our books in class, books and notes, just so I feel like it's to like make people not really want to cheat and look it on Google because they already have their notes down. So like, because no, using your notes isn't really cheating, but
And come to think of it, I think it has kind of changed the mentality, right? In real life, all these resources are right in front of you to access. In real life, there's no such thing as closed books, right? When you go to work, all your resources are accessible to you. You can use them. So it doesn't really make sense for school testing to not allow that. They should probably allow natural setting and test you in that, right? So maybe, this is a good shift in the long term. The academics, and circles are probably rethinking about why are we, enforcing this closed textbook testing. What do you guys have to say about that?
I also think that teachers are inclined to let us use our notes because they themselves know that they can't teach concepts to us fully online. That's just part of my take. I don't know. It's kind of a half-finished thought. If anyone wants to add on, that would be good.
Yeah, what we do is when we have a test, we'll have to be in a Zoom call with the teacher, and they'll have like a timer set. So when that timer goes off, we can't do any more of the test, and we'll have to show the work on the test in through the camera, so she knows that we're not cheating or anything like that.
For me,
oh, you can
it was probably like you have way more time online, so it just feels like you have more time online than you have in person.
You mean for test taking or in general?
Uh, just in general.
Okay, so you find yourself having more time to study, having more time to do your own chores and stuff. So days seem longer.
Yeah, basically.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Even though like we have more time for tests, I still despise timed tests. I do so much worse on them because I'm constantly like hyper aware of, oh, I'm going too slow. It's a mess.
So my son, I'd noticed that a lot of his teachers, are allowing open book and open time, meaning they can take their own time and complete their tests. Not all, but some of them. And he seems to be doing much better with that. Obviously, he has, he can take his own sweet time. Do you also experience the same? Do some of your teachers allow you to take test away and do it at your own time?
it's open book is, but like half of them are on your own time, but like they give us like a day, and then if you don't do it in the day, it's not really, you can't really do it anymore. She just closes the test. But sometimes she lets us, like if it's a really long test, then she would let us give more time.
My school actually, they haven't given us any tests because they've pushed it back when we go back to school. because they don't trust us.
Wow, that is a very interesting angle there. So they would not even test you because
No, they haven't
they
tested
don't
us.
trust. So it's probably they probably think it's not fair.
It's not. It's some of it is based on trust, but they don't really think that doing a test online is a good idea because of the Google and everything, and they think that um, they sent us more revision and everything. So when we go back, we will instantly do tests, so they can see what level we are on.
Hmm. You know, interesting that you bring that up. The current education system, right, that we see today is predominantly propagated by, you know, when during British rule, right? So the mentality of closed book testing and, you know, setting a certain test standards for everybody probably comes from there. So the fact that, you know, the British education system would be more rigid about it makes sense. um, or it could be a shift. You know, hopefully the pandemic brings that shift, needed shift. Personally, I think the closed book, I mean, test format doesn't really reflect real life. So I would welcome that.
Just out of curiosity, is everybody here in online school?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Who is going to school? Arvik is going to school. Who else is going to
Yeah.
school? So everybody else is online. Wow.
Oh, no, I'm online as well.
So you are on and both. You're like hybrid.
Yeah.
Okay. So how is
Yeah.
your experience going to school, like half the time and doing online? Do you find that distracting, or do you think it's a good balance?
I think it's an all right balance because how it worked was we did online school and then the school opened again for a bit and then it closed down and then we did online school again.
Hmm. Was that disruptive for you in learning, or did you guys
Not
adapt?
really.
Okay. You know, that's another thing I find really extraordinary about you children is how quickly you guys adapt. You know, there is so much flux. You know, in the beginning, we were like off for a few weeks. You know, they're prepping to school to go online, and then they went online, and then they went in, you know, went in person, and then online. It has been going back and forth, at least here. And you know, I have kept my sons online most of the time, but I also notice other kids. You know, how quickly they adapt and resiliency they show is amazing. And I think that it has been an inspiration for, you know, us adult to learn from you guys to just kind of go with the flow, right? What do you guys think?
I think
You-
like
Yeah.
we're only this adaptable because we have to be. And it's at a certain point we shouldn't have to be. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is inhumane because that's dramatic. But it's also like we should have an easier schedule to get adjusted to. And like where I in North Carolina where I live, the school is like a certain group of people go in this week and then the school is completely empty for 2 weeks, I think, and then a different group of people go in. And it's just like I don't go to school in person, but for the people that do, it has to be weird to just like have part of your life happen this week and then just put it on hold for a bit and then start it up again.
Very good point. Anybody else felt like they're forced to be resilient and adaptable?
Yes, I agree with Alina because well, everything happened all of a sudden. So we didn't have any other choice but to be adaptable. So I think we kind of learned along from there. So and also we like would have to go and retrieve all of our stuff, and they provided resources for us like for the kids that didn't have laptops or computers, they would provide us with laptops, but even with all the resources providable, it was still very challenging to change all of a sudden from going and doing everything one way for basically a huge chunk of our lives to in a matter of a few weeks changing to completely online.
You have to understand though that like everybody involved in this is just doing their best. Sometimes their best isn't good enough, but it's what they can offer at this time, and it's we have to take that and go from there.
I agree with you, Alina, and that is the maturity you guys showed. The understanding. I didn't see that much of pushback or whining from my kids. It was what it was. But children, to expect that from children, to understand that, to have that understanding, to have that maturity is huge. And I think that will stay as part of your personality when you experience such thing early in life and learn to be adaptable, learn to accept things as it comes. That remains as part of your personality as you grow older, which is a huge asset. I think we never experienced that as growing up. We took it for granted, all these structure and you know um, the fact that we could expect same thing every day was taken for granted. But that was taken away from you, and I think that helped you grow. Um, what do you guys have to say about that? And I'm sorry if anybody else wanted to add on, their experience of having to change overnight. Please go ahead.
Well, one of the things I want to point out is that like I think it's helpful for us to have this big change so early on as we're growing up so that we don't really get a chance to get adjusted. And it's like it prepares us for any other crisis that might happen when we're older. But what I find really interesting is babies that were born in quarantine, because this is their normal and this is what they've grown up with at this very young age. I want to see what happens when they go into the school system.
Interesting. Anybody else thought-provoking comments like that?
Man, not a fan of babies, are you?
Anybody wants to add how was their experience of having to change overnight, going, and so probably, a lot of shifts happening from online to in person. Did you guys experience anything like that? How was it for you?
For me, it was pretty normal. It was like what they expect from us. It's just our basic expectations.
What was that expectation?
Like they know what we're capable of, so they tell us to do it.
So it was kind of just assumed that you were capable of doing and pushed down on you. But how was it? Did you struggle through it? Was it do you feel that it was unfair the way
It
that?
just felt normal for me.
Okay, so you were very resilient. It kind of came natural to you.
Yeah.
How was it for other people, others?
I
Raghav,
mean,
you want to experience? Share your thoughts?
Yeah, so like it wasn't really anything that different. Like it, because we didn't go back to school. It was like fully online since last March.
Mm.
So it was like we didn't really have to change except that one time. So like it was pretty easy
Consistent for
for
you.
me.
Sahaj, how about you?
Well, like so this happened last year. I was online for about a year now. Last year, we had spring break and they started getting ready for online because they knew that we're not coming back the next week. And it's just been, I've been doing that for a year now. So I'm used to it.
Very good. Did we hear from everybody about on this? I think so. Okay, so so all these changes, things have, for us, I've lived half of my life now. If you ask me, this has been one of the most, I guess, life-changing experience for me. I haven't not experienced anything like that. The whole world, kind of stood still, and we all faced the same thing all at once. I think this has shifted a lot of things for a lot of people, our mentality, our outlook, the way we interact with each other. A lot of things have changed. Everything was pushed online now. I think there will be no going back from that. We also saw that how resilient we are as a human race, how we could just go overnight in few weeks, from one operating mode to completely different. So I think it's an eye-opening thing for all of us, right? But at the same time, all these change that happened so swiftly also demanded a lot out of us emotionally, psychologically. So we probably experienced a lot of ups and downs that way. How has your mental health been? Do you find yourself, just reflect for a few moments and see, do you find yourself more happy because there's less demand because of you don't have as many extracurricular activities, you have more time, you're more interactive with your family, so are you happier? Or because you're limited in what you can do, you're restricted socially, do you find yourself unhappy and sad? Which one is more true for you, and why?
Mostly unhappy because like I can't see any of my friends. I can't really do extracurricular activities. And like the school was actually like we were getting more homework and stuff in online school rather than in normal school.
Do you also find yourself sometimes when when you're competitive, it helps to have your friends right next to you, so that they push you, like when they're like Alina, I know it's extra pressure for you, where some people who are very competitive, they find it easier when they're sitting next to their friends to push themselves, and when you're online, when you don't see your friends, it's harder to compete and push, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I understand that. What about others? How has it been for you mentally?
I don't know, because like before this, you had times that you were
For
happy
me,
and you
it's a
had
little bit of
times that you were sad.
because
And now it's just like the same, and it's the same amount of both. But with all this time to myself, I know what I want to do now. And like I know that these things make me happy, and those are the things that I would like to pursue later on. Just like this has all been a time of self-reflection, and I know a lot more things about myself now than I did before, and that makes me happier because it's a weight off my chest and I don't have to keep thinking about those things.
Very interesting point. When we have time to ourselves, we tend to self-reflect more and learn more about ourselves, right? And that when we
Mm-hmm.
learn more about ourselves, we are happier because we are doing things that make sense for us. That's a wonderful point you make. What about others? Rhythm, you want to add on that?
For me, it was actually a big change, and I wasn't really happy with it because I was actually happy with what I had before Corona and everything. And when it happened, so many things had changed, and it was really hard for me to get used to the change. And once it did happen, there was so many expectations put on me, and I didn't really like that. And when there was no lockdown, there wasn't actually anything that people asked me of, but because of school and everything, I didn't really like the online part and not seeing my friends and my friends not encouraging me.
So you're saying that expectations around the house increased because you're more available around the house.
Yeah, and because of how what the teachers expect of online and the grades, how high they want them, and sometimes it isn't actually the best because some parts I struggle on, and I didn't really like that.
So you were saying that teachers were not empathetic, because
Yeah,
there was a lot of change for kids to go online overnight. So they should have been more empathetic towards your needs and all the demands that was because of the change.
yeah,
Very
It
important.
was
Yeah.
it was a big change for our teachers too, though. And like it wasn't good for any of us, really.
Right. But if there was a big change for the teachers being an adult, should have the empathy and give the space that kids, and understanding that the kids needed. So I think you should expect a little bit more from the adults. They have lived more, they should know more. So yes, it's I think as kids, you should have some understanding towards your teachers and your parents, and be a little more forgiving. But at the same time, I think same goes the other way as well. The teachers and parents also have to be more empathetic and understanding towards children. what about you, Giovanni? What is your experience?
For me, it's a little bit of both because again, I like having a lot of more extra free time for myself to do other things. Like I go to an art school for piano, and so I get more time to practice piano. But also some days and some weeks it's kind of repetitive because it's you wake up, you do school, like you do online school, then you go home, you do homework, and then you go to bed. So it's kind of like sometimes it's like a constant repeat, and you start to get kind of sick of it. But there's nothing you can really do.
Okay, so the school part has been a little negative experience for you because of it's so repetitive. Every day is the same kind of thing. That makes sense. How about Arvik? How about for you?
I think I would agree that it's repetitive and every day just feels really long and kind of like a waste of time.
Okay, so I think everybody's agreeing you on that. Sahaj, did you get a chance to speak your mind on it?
I mean, like, I used to do swimming and basketball, and we stopped that because of coronavirus. So, I mean, I'm happy but sad at the same time. So in the middle.
So for you, I see the same theme that you mostly miss your extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
But being home socially hasn't been that bad for you. It's
No.
the activities that
Yeah.
you miss the most. Very good. I think we got everybody's voice and opinion on that. Raghavir, I think you also voiced, right? So I would like to ask, all of you one question. What is one thing that, or Elena, if you go ahead, you can ask, one thing that you have learned during pandemic, that has really helped you stay happy or healthy mentally? Is there one thing that you've learned? How have you learned to cope?
I've learned. Oh, sorry.
You can go.
Okay. So I've learned to play guitar a lot better, and that it's good. This is the thing that I like to do and something that I would like to continue doing. And the fact that I've had this time to get to pursue my interests instead of school stuff, it's very relieving.
Very good. Anybody else picked up more extracurricular activities that you could do from home?
Well, while we were in quarantine, me and my family did a lot of baking and cooking. So that was fun. We tried a bunch of new recipes. And also because of quarantine, we were home a lot more. So we actually got to spend more time with my dog. And I think that um, it brought everyone together, and it made everybody, like the whole quarantine experience, a lot more enjoyable.
That's right. A lot of us saw new pets in our home, at least here in the US and, in our neighborhood. True. Anybody got a new pet during pandemic?
I didn't get it during pandemic, but the year before, in October, we got a dog.
Very good. Anybody else has a new pet? Cool. We got a new pet too. His name is Simba. He's super cute. He keeps us all sane. The amount of love and joy he shares every day. I don't know how we did it without him. Raghavir, you're gonna share your experience of how you've coped. What have you learned to?
I actually don't really know. Just like thinking that it's gonna be over, like that like it won't be permanent because like I don't really have anything.
That is a very, very positive thing to tell yourself, this is temporary, this is going to go away. So that is one of the best coping mechanism or tool, is to keep reminding ourselves this is temporary, it's going to be over. Thank you for adding that. Anybody else? Do you tell yourself? Yeah.
For me, probably the best news I heard was news about the vaccine. Just thinking that it'll be over soon.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank you for that, Arvik.
Well, yeah, the vaccine was really like motivating.
Okay, so
So
the news of the vaccine. So it looks like you all are looking forward to going back to your old life. So although it's there is a positive to COVID, you all want to get it over with. Is that
yeah.
true for Rhythm and Yuvani also?
Yes. When they first announced that the vaccine was available, I was super excited. And for the time being, it's like for seniors, but now I think they're extending it to lower age groups. And they're going to keep going lower and lower. And soon enough, I think kids will be able to get it. And everything might not go exactly back to normal, but it's a start.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Alina, I know you're the only person in this group who has picked up a new hobby, and it's music, and we all love music. Do we get to hear a little bit of that?
Do you want to hear that?
Of course.
No.
No?
I don't know. I don't want to share now.
Okay,
Not
no.
on the spot like this.
I know, I'm sorry. I put you on spot. I should have probably let you, it didn't cross my mind. So maybe next time when we do it.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Anybody
Yeah.
who has fun jokes, songs, anything you'd like to share to cheer up the mood? No?
I picked up cooking though
Oh, that's
as a
wonderful. Your mom
hobby.
must be really proud and happy.
Yeah.
What do you like to cook? What have you cooked recently?
Chia, tea.
Gia, nice.
Yeah, Maggie.
Okay.
Uh,
I got a request from someone, that I should ask question in Nepali because everybody wants to hear our kids speaking in Nepali. I know, Alina, you cannot speak Nepali, so my kids can't speak Nepali either. But I would like to, ask one question in Nepali, and you all whoever can answer in Nepali. Can you guys do that? What would be the question? I didn't prepare this, so. If so तपाईँहरूलाई भन्नुपर्छ कि तिमीहरूलाई बाबुहरूलाई नानीहरूलाई नेपालको बारेमा एउटा सबभन्दा कुरा के मनपर्छ नेपालीमा भन्नु
Momo. Momo मनपर्छ.
नेपालीमा but you have to speak a whole sentence.
मलाई मोमो मनपर्छ.
मोमो किन मनपर्छ?
Let me think the sentence.
Okay. Anybody else like to share what they like one thing about Nepali culture, Nepal in Nepali?
मलाई पाहाडहरू मनपर्छ.
के मनपर्छ?
पाहाडहरू.
पहाड
Mountain.
Oh, पहाडहरू मनपर्छ. That's nice. Have you बाबुले climb गरेको छ नेपालमा पहाड?
गर्न मन छ.
Okay. Anybody else wants to share? Yuvani, Rhythm, Arvid?
And Tamil घुम्न मन लाग्यो.
Good. Rhythm?
मलाई चाउमिन मनपर्छ.
Chowmin मनपर्छ. Why? Very good. That's my favorite too. How about you, Arvik? Arvikलाई त राम्रै बोल्न आउँछ होला नेपाली.
Not really, no.
No? Okay. Do you want to add a sentence in Nepali? The parents love to hear, the kids speak in Nepali.
मलाई काठमाडौँ मनपर्छ.
Malai पनि मनपर्छ. Thank you. Oh, cute. Okay. Alina, you probably know a word or two.
Not enough. I couldn't.
Okay. So I think it's been a wonderful chat. Thank you for being so candid and sharing your stories, your viewpoint on the year of lockdown. It's been life-changing for everybody. And I would like to share one thing with you guys, being a certified yoga teacher, and because you all have been experiencing the downside of pandemic, which is frustration, sadness. It's good to equip ourselves with tools and techniques to help cope with any negative experiences, right? And we have our culture, has a wonderful techniques to offer. Yoga, meditation, all these spiritual practices were originated from our part of the world, which is Nepal, India. And so you probably already exposed this to these techniques, but for those of you who haven't been, and for those who are watching who haven't been, I would like to help teach couple techniques to help. So whenever you feel down, whenever you feel sad, there are a few things I would like to keep in mind for you to do. First thing, physical exercise is one of the best medicine, to bring your mood up. So I will give you this formula, okay? 3, just 30 jumping jacks. Everybody knows how to do jumping jacks, right? Jumping jacks is one of the best, way of exercise. You don't need to go be outdoor. You can just do wherever you are, just stand and start doing jumping jacks, right? So 30 jumping jacks and followed by 3 deep breathing, okay? So I'm going to teach you how to do deep breathing because most of us do not deep breathe. We are shallow breathers, and shallow breathing causes a lot of mental fogginess and all. So to keep ourselves mentally alert and happy, learning how to do deep breathing helps a lot. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do inhale and exhale. Okay. So I'm going to count 4 for inhale and count 4 for exhale. So when we do inhale, when I do count 4, first 2 count, we breathe into our tummy. You guys probably, some of you probably are not used to how to breathe into our tummy, but you have to train, okay? When you breathe in, you breathe all the way into your tummy for 2 counts. And the last 2 counts, you breathe into your chest. So when you breathe into your chest fully, your collarbone starts rising up, okay? So inhale, let me just demonstrate. 1, 2, into your belly, and 1, 2, into your chest, okay? And when you exhale, 3 out of your chest and 1 out of your belly. So 1, 2, 3, when I count till 3, exhale out of chest, and the last one, 4, exhale out of belly, okay? So I would like you guys to start when I start counting. So breathe into your belly, 1, 2, breathe into your chest, 1, 2. Breathe out of your chest, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out of your tummy, 1. Again, breathe into your tummy, 1, 2. Breathe into your chest, 1, 2. Breathe out of your chest, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out of your tummy, 1. Again, breathe into your tummy, 1, 2. Breathe into your chest, 1, 2. Breathe out of your chest, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out of your tummy, 1. So that you keep that in mind, keep training yourself. Okay, it's very important to learn to breathe through your nose, though. Never use your mouth, breathe through your nose. And that's called deep breathing. So whenever you find yourself, foggy and down, do that, and at least 3, but you can do up to 10. That will really start uplifting your mood. Now, next, I would like to take a few minutes and do quick meditation. And this is also a very, very strong technique in keeping yourself mentally healthy. Okay, so let's take a few minutes and just hear my voice and follow my instruction. Okay, so sit yourself in comfortably on your sitting bone and keep your back really straight, but not stiff. Straight and comfortable. Let your arm hang, both your arms hang next to your body, and they can be resting on your legs. Okay. And now slowly bring attention to your breathing. At the tip of your nose, notice the cool air entering your nose all the way through the breathing canal to your throat and to your chest and to your belly. And notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and breathe out. Notice the warm breath coming out of your nose as you breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You can continue doing the deep breathing or you can do normal breathing. It's up to you. Now, if you notice any thoughts coming in your mind, gently acknowledge it, but try not to entertain it. Meditation is a practice of clearing your mind and being able to be in control of your mind so that you can allow your mind not to entertain any thoughts. It's okay to let it come and let it go. Stay in that empty space, quiet space, peaceful space as you notice your breath coming in and going out, your chest rising and falling. Bring a gentle smile to your lips. And until you hear my voice again, continue focusing on your breath for next minute or so until you hear my voice and stay in that peaceful space. Okay, now I would like you to gently bring your attention back to your body and to your breathing, and gently open your eyes when you're ready. How was that? Did it feel good? Very good. That is
Yeah.
a gift, that is a gift you have that you can give yourself anytime. So always remember, whenever you're down, 30 jumping jacks, 3 deep breathing, and 3 minutes of meditation will make you into a different person. Okay, that is a tool in your hand that you could use anytime. And also another thing that you can practice is a practice of gratitude. Give yourself a moment of time whenever you feel like complaining or whining. Just close your eyes and think about one thing that you're thankful of in life, right? There's always something that we're thankful of. Health, our family, our friends, our just comfort in our life. And that could be anything, right? So I would like to impart that to you all. And I think we're almost over with our time. Any comments, anything you want to add that we missed out on touching upon?
I don't have anything.
Okay, anybody else? Wonderful. Thank you all for coming and being our guests, special guest. You guys are wonderful. And hopefully in future, we'll have programs like this where you can join again, and make sure that you like our Facebook page if you have, or YouTube, and let your friends know so that, our channel grows and we can bring more services like this to you all in the future. All right. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.